Yeah, I guess that'll do. Alright, sharpen up. Let's get started. So, with a sharp pencil, you're going to practice this. This is going to be the basics of crosshatch shading, and this is going to be how we're going to start. Now, on the kind of paper that you're using, it's probably going to look pretty rough at first. In fact, it might even look really grainy, but don't worry about that. That's eventually going to go away. What we're doing now is we're just getting the first layer put down. You'll also notice that I'm holding the pencil pretty far from the tip, and this is so that I can hold it at a really shallow angle that'll let me sharpen it as I go along. All I have to do is rotate the pencil slightly every couple of strokes, and it'll keep the tip really sharp and eliminate the need for constantly going and buzzing it up. Now, you'll notice I'm just shading in one direction right now, and that's kind of by design. What I want to do is I want to get to the end of this little strip, and then I'm going to turn the drawing about 90 degrees, and I'm going to start going at it again from a different angle. And all this is doing is letting me hit the grain from all kinds of different directions and get as much coverage as possible. This is going to be just like the first layer. You're going over at a light angle, very little pressure, and you're just building up more color. You'll notice, though, that it's covering more and more of the grain now because it's coming at it from a different angle. I'm going a little bit slower here for demonstration purposes, but as this becomes muscle memory, you'll be able to speed up quite a bit. And you'll also be able to squeeze it into smaller and smaller areas instead of this big patch that I'm using as a demonstration. There we go, let's give it another turn. This time we'll turn it at 45 degrees. There's no real structure for it, you just have to turn it to a different angle so that you can go at it again. That's all this is, just repetition, keep a sharp pencil, shallow angle, light pressure. For these first few layers, you're definitely going to want to keep your pencil sharp. You will benefit a lot from it later. Now, this kind of technique actually works on smooth paper too. In fact, you might find that when you're in the first stage of shading, it'll actually look a little bit smoother. It'll only be at the end when you start tinting and blending where you start to see a little bit more difficulty. But for the time being, rough paper like this, it's going to seem a lot more grainy at first, but you'll get the same smooth polish towards the end. I know this is the vegetables of the process and it's not terribly exciting, but believe me, once we get to the end of it, it'll look as smooth as airbrush. We just have to start with a dark color shading layer like this.